You're tired, pacing from bedroom to kitchen to couch with your phone in hand, and the reason you stood up keeps evaporating. You're not lazy. Your intentions are getting erased by the tiny gaps between actions, the 2-second liminal moments where a doorway or an app load quietly drops the thread. The day feels like a hallway with no signs, and no amount of morning routine or willpower reaches those seconds. This video isn't another pep talk. It's a way to treat those thresholds as tiny switches, so crossing them actually hands you the next small step. Stay with me for a simple, gentle shift that stops the drift without adding drama.
You keep walking into rooms, and the reason you came evaporates on contact. You open your phone to check one thing, and a quiet 10 minutes later, you're deeper in a feed you didn't plan to see, heavier and a little more restless. A cup lands in the hallway and never finds its way back. Nothing is exactly wrong, yet nothing quite lands. You're not lazy, you're just lightly untethered, as if the day turned into a long hallway with too many doors and none of them marked. The noise isn't loud. It's that soft drain in the 2 seconds between stand up and what was I doing? Your attention keeps slipping in the gaps, not because you don't care, but because the edges of the day are smudged and every room greets you with a different script. The couch nudges you to sync and scroll. The kitchen hums snack while you think. The desk suggests one more delay. You pace between rooms and apps, holding a thread you can't seem to keep hold of.
You don't need a brand new life or a flawless plan. You need a way to keep the thread from sliding out of your fingers when you move, a way to cross from one space to another without losing what you meant to do. Imagine something small and steady, a tiny handhold at every crossing, so your next step doesn't depend on a surge of will. Not a transformation, just a gentle click that says, this is what happens now. If the day has felt like a blur, this is the part of the story where you change how you move through it, not by pushing harder, but by catching the moment right before it slips.
The problem isn't willpower. Your brain stores intention inside contexts, like tabs nested inside a particular window. Cross a threshold, physical or digital, and the mind obligingly loads a new room, quietly dropping the tab of what you meant to do in the last one. No boundaries means no bookmarks. Without a small marker at the edge, the script resets, and your spaces keep pulling you into their old lines. The couch says scroll, the kitchen says graze, the desk says avoid. You've been trying to fix afternoons with morning routines and to fix motivation with a scolding voice, but the leaks happen in the liminal moments. Doorways, app switches, standing up, sitting down. The unmarked seconds where the day changes costumes. If transitions go unmanaged, everything feels unfinished, as if you keep starting new scenes without closing the last one. You're not broken. Your system is missing tiny handles, the kind that let you carry intention across rooms without crushing it in your fist.
Think of it like moving water. In a cup, it travels with you. In your hands, it spills between your fingers the second you take a step. When the edge between spaces has no cue, your mind defaults to whatever it learned there last month, last year. Shame tries to brute force the crossing and burns out by evening. What works is gentler and smaller, a consistent mark, a default line, a breath that bookmarks. It's not about becoming a new person in every room. It's about giving the thresholds a job so your attention doesn't have to keep auditioning. Think of every doorway as a switch, not a shrug. Thresholds aren't just edges, they're control panels, the place where the next scene gets its lighting cue. Instead of asking yourself to be a different person in every room, ask the room to change you in the small way you choose. You don't need more rules. You need a 6-second bridge that keeps the thread intact while you cross. What if the hallway became a gentle checkpoint, a soft pause that reminds your body of one simple line? What if the act of crossing was itself the ritual that sets your next tiny step? You're not here to fight your environment, to wrestle the couch or outwit the fridge. You're here to make these spaces whisper the right line at the right moment, like a friend leaning in with a cue you can actually do when you're tired. This isn't about discipline as a mood, it's about design as a kindness. Turn transitions from leaks into launches.
Let the border do the work so the room can hold you. The moment between in here and out there carries more power than the room itself because it's where the mind decides which script to load. Design the in-betweens and the rest gets easier because you won't be trying to sprint through molasses or dig for motivation that never shows up on command. You'll step, switch, and let the next line unfold without drama. A 6-second bridge is small enough to repeat, light enough to keep, and steady enough to survive the nights when your energy is thin. This is how you keep the thread from slipping, not with force, but with a quiet click that turns the next step on.
Do this tonight với 3 doorways you cross the most và make the edges work for you. First, tag 3 thresholds. Choose the bedroom door và kitchen entrance, or whatever path you travel most, và place a small neutral dot sticker at eye level on each frame. It isn't decoration, it's a squish label. Next, give each doorway one default line, so you don't have to think. Bedroom to hallway means carry one thing out, a pair of socks, a mug, a book. The kitchen to living room says take water with you, a tiny shot of hydration that lifts your mood by default. Living room to desk says open the next open file, not be productive, just open the file or note you were last in. Now add a 6-second bridge before you cross. Stop at the sticker, exhale for 4 counts, with a line, cross and do the line. Keep it small enough for your most depleted evenings. If it isn't doable when you're tired, it isn't your default.
Carry a token of intention when you leave a room, a pen, a folded sticky note, even your house key. And when you arrive, place the token where your hands land and do the one-step action written on it. Something like plug in laptop, rinse cup, or set 10-min timer. Park the previous scene as you exit. Close with a 2-sentence line. I'm leaving this here. I'll return after next doorway action. Then put one object in a return spot near the door, a tray or hook. And when you come back, put that single object away. It's a loop you can close in under 20 seconds. Tame your phone as a threshold too. Move your most used time waster app to a hidden page. Set your lock screen to read, crossing, what's the one line? And when you unlock, say the line before any tap. If you forget it, lock the phone, exhale, and try again.
Run a rehearsal lap. Walk all 3 doorways once and do the action at each. Don't aim for results, just rehearse. Your body learns faster than your plans. Keep the scope humble. 1 dot, 1 line, 1 action under 20 seconds. When a line feels automatic for a week, add a second only if it still feels easy. If you want extras, try a 3-second chime or tiny doorway playlist only when you cross to your desk. A warm lamp near a threshold that turns on at sunset to cue your exhale and switch. And a night shutdown where the last doorway, living room to bedroom, triggers a 2-minute tidy or dropping your phone outside the room.
Imagine your evening as a series of gentle switches instead of a blur. You reach the bedroom door, and your hand automatically scoops up one strain item as you pass. The hallway door invites a slow exhale that settles your shoulders without a speech. The kitchen threshold hands you a glass of water, no debate required. By the time you reach your desk, the next file is open. Not a sprint, not a dramatic decision, just quiet motion in the right direction. Your rooms stop arguing with you. they start helping. The couch can still be soft without being a trap. The kitchen can be warm without becoming a grazing loop. The desk can feel less like a dare and more like a place you arrive with a line ready. Nothing about you needed to be fixed. You gave your attention a way to survive the in-betweens. You traded shame for switches. You traded leaks for launches. Small cues stack, and the day that used to drip through cracks begins to move in clean, finishable steps. You'll still have tired nights and tangled thoughts, of course, but you'll also have handles you can grab without thinking, even in low light at 10 p.m. One doorway at a time, you're rebuilding a sense of direction that doesn't depend on mood. Not with force, with quiet, repeatable cues that keep the thread intact while you cross. And tomorrow, when you wake and stand in that first doorway, you'll already know what comes next. A breath, a line, a tiny action that tips the whole scene forward. The rooms won't decide for you, the thresholds will. And the evening will meet you with softer edges, each switch a small promise kept.